What's up guys, Mickle here, and one of the biggest FUD points thrown at the XRP Ledger to try to discredit it as a tool for the next generation financial system is the fact that the XRP Ledger is centralized. Well guys, in this video, I want to break down exactly why this is blatantly false. I want to show you why people make up these rumors. I want to show you what's really the truth behind the scenes. Guys, I think after watching this video, you are going to have a completely different view on the topic, and you might actually see the XRP Ledger as one of the most decentralized blockchains out there. Guys, towards the end of the video though, I also want to show you a paradigm shift we are heading into. I want to share with you a chart of the dollar index and show you why we might be heading into an extremely interesting time over the next decade that could cause cryptocurrencies to boom like we've never seen before. Make sure to stick around for the end of the video to see that. I think you're going to find it fascinating. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Guys, a massive thank you to everyone who likes the videos and to subscribe to the channel. These two things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the content. So guys, like I said in the intro, one of the biggest FUD points thrown at the XRP Ledger over the course of its entire history is the fact that it's centralized. Now guys, this is thrown at the XRP Ledger, in my opinion, because people really can't make up any other bad things to say about the XRP Ledger. So they make up the centralization claim, tag it to the XRP Ledger, and hope people don't actually do the research to figure out whether or not this claim is true. Now guys, in this video, I want to show you first of all that this claim is just kind of thrown around to try to FUD different projects and really doesn't have any truth to it. And the first thing I want to share with you is actually a claim made by a major cryptocurrency journalist named Laura Shin. She is someone who's been in cryptocurrency since the early days, and she has been constantly reporting on the fact that the XRP Ledger is centralized. Now guys, this is a tweet from her back in 2018 where she's saying XRP is centralized and essentially talking about why no institutions are ever going to use the XRP Ledger. Now guys, at the same exact time, she was praising Ethereum for its decentralized nature. She was praising Bitcoin for its decentralized nature. So in 2018, Laura Shin was calling the XRP Ledger centralized and Ethereum decentralized. Well guys, just take a look at this because I think it's going to really open your eyes to that people like Laura Shin are really just shills and say whatever they can to try to pump their own backs. Take a look at this. This is actually Vitalik Buterin earlier today. What Vitalik Buterin says is proof of work is actually quite centralized. But guys, the reason this is so fascinating is because Vitalik Buterin is obviously the creator of Ethereum. And Laura Shin, who's a random cryptocurrency journalist, is running around saying that Ethereum is sufficiently decentralized, proof of work is this holy grail of decentralization, all while the creator of Ethereum is coming out and literally admitting that when Ethereum was proof of work, it wasn't decentralized. So guys, what this shows you is people like Laura Shin will just say whatever to pump their own back. She was running around calling XRP centralized. Meanwhile, Vitalik, the creator of the blockchain she was praising, is literally admitting that proof of work was a decentralized system. Now guys, we don't have to think too hard why proof of work is centralized. At the end of the day, if you can get the most miners, you can contribute the most validation power and take most control of the network. Now guys, this is obviously a very hard thing to do today, but at the end of the day, there's a monetary incentive to take control of the network. The more ASIC miners you can buy, the more control you will have over the network, and therefore, the more you centralize the network into the party with the most money. Take a look at this chart. What you can see is anyone can run a Bitcoin miner. Anyone can contribute to the validation power of the Bitcoin network. But certain pools have completely taken over, having an outsized piece of control over the Bitcoin network. And that's because the biggest pools are getting more and more money, they're getting more and more validation power, and taking more and more control. And the same thing is true for proof of stake. The more you have of a cryptocurrency in a proof of stake network, the more value you amass, and therefore the more control over the network you have. Guys, in my opinion, these are massive issues with both these models. When you have value securing a protocol, you essentially have the ability for any party who has a lot of value to take outsized control of the network. In my eyes, Bitcoin and Ethereum via these models are distributed. Anyone can get involved. I can stake on Ethereum, I can run a Bitcoin miner and validate on Bitcoin, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's not decentralized because there's still centralized parties that have outsized control. Now guys, In my opinion, this is pretty obvious, right? These are pretty obvious issues. But you had people like Laura Shin running around in 2018 saying that XRP is centralized and Ethereum is decentralized. And guys, what this proves is even the creator of Ethereum knows that what Laura Shin was running around saying was blatantly false. It didn't make any sense, but she had a big following and she was spewing these narratives because she had a desire to attack the XRP Ledger to try to pump her Ethereum bags. Guys, let's take a look at how the XRP Ledger is different now because I think it's really going to blow your mind. The XRP Ledger is completely different, and I don't have a chart up, but I'll just break it down on this one. The XRP Ledger is completely different because every validator has the same control over the network. Imagine this pie graph was broken up into equal slices. On the XRP Ledger, no incentive is the best incentive. There is no monetary value to contribute to the network, and because of that, every single participant has the same power over the network. In my eyes, that's decentralization. Decentralization is not having the ability for a single party to amass a bunch of money and take control of the network. That is not possible on the XRP Ledger because the XRP Ledger, there's no monetary incentive to take control over the network. Guys, this is what David Schwartz understood 15 years ago. David Schwartz knew that if you gave people a monetary incentive to take control of these networks, they were going to use that monetary incentive to take as much control over the network as possible. And that's why the thesis behind the XRP Ledger is that the best incentive is no incentive. If you purely have people contributing to the network because they think the network is important, but not because they want to make money off of it, well, then essentially you're going to have people acting in a way that is as responsible as possible to make sure the network has long-term viability. In the Bitcoin and Ethereum network, you're simply monetized for getting as much control as possible. And that is completely against the idea of decentralization. Guys, this is not a video to say that the XRP Ledger system is better than proof of work and proof of stake. Although I think that is not what I'm trying to prove to you in this video. What I'm trying to prove to you in this video is that this idea that the XRP Ledger is obviously centralized and proof of work and proof of stake are obviously decentralized is completely absurd, right? It is absolutely absurd to be making blanket statements like that because everything we are looking at says that it is completely false. Guys, I really wanted to share this with you because XRP's centralization is one of the biggest FUD points out there. And it's one of the things that I don't think enough people have really grasped for why it is completely untrue. Guys, when you break it down, I think you can legitimately make a case that the XRP Ledger has the best system out there for ultimate decentralization. So I think it's so funny that one of the biggest attack points is that the XRP Ledger is centralized because it is completely untrue. Guys, I really hope this lets you know that most of the narratives put out there around this are simply because these people understand the power of the XRP Ledger, they understand how good the system is, and they know that if they don't attack it, people are going to catch on to how brilliantly this thing was designed. Guys, with that said, I want to move on and get over to the final topic of the video. And that is the dollar over the next decade. Guys, we see people like Ray Dalio running out and saying that the dollar is in a terrible place. We are watching the devaluation of fiat currencies. We are watching essentially governments print currencies into oblivion, make it so that the purchasing power is declining at rapid rates. But one of the interesting things about all of this is we really haven't seen its effects on the dollar. So far, the dollar has been surprisingly, shockingly strong, and this is something that not a lot of people expected. Now, I really want to share with you in this video exactly what I think is going to happen to the dollar over the next decade, because I think it perfectly aligns with what people like Ray Dalio are saying. Guys, right now, we just saw at this moment right here, record amounts of money printing and record debasement of the dollar. Despite all that, the dollar has been surging to record highs. Now, guys, I believe the main reason this is happening is essentially because high interest rates. People are getting paid right now large portions of money to hold their cash in cash, right? Just simply to hold it in bank accounts. And this is causing strength in the dollar. But guys, if we see a scenario, which I think is obviously going to happen over the next couple of years where interest rates come down, people are no longer going to be incentivized to hold the dollar. And what we are going to see is that record debasement of the money start showing up in the dollar currency index, and the dollar currency index starting to fall back down to these lower levels. Guys, these are not magic trend lines, but if we simply take a look at what the dollar has been doing over the last 100 years, there's a very obvious oscillation cycle where it goes up and down. Guys, I would not be surprised if the dollar continues this pattern. And because of the record debasement right here, because of the reckless monetary policy, because of the printing of the dollar at record pace, it makes sense that it would continue this pattern. Guys, if this occurred, I think we would see a premium on risk assets like cryptocurrencies. I think we would see a premium on decentralized assets that governments can't control, because essentially governments are destroying the assets that we're using in the world today. Guys, it seems like to me everything is playing out for a cryptocurrency boom that the world needs. It's not because we want the world to adopt cryptocurrencies, it's because the world we are heading into needs them. We are heading into a world where there's no trust. We are heading into a world where systems are segregated. We are heading into a world where there's no interoperability. We need decentralized neutral protocols to connect all of these systems. We need decentralized neutral protocols that allow parties to interact with one another that don't trust each other. These decentralized cryptocurrency protocols have decentralized neutral assets on them that cannot be corrupted by governments who love destroying currency. Guys, it seems like everything is playing out perfectly for the future that you and I are investing into. Guys, it seems like everything is playing out perfectly for the future you and I are already invested into. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the next couple years. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.